Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Today we're going to talk about what makes me very happy. As always, it is the Wishsong of Shannara by Terry Brooks. We are kind of reaching the final stretch, and it's always fun to discuss it here and with the chat. But our panel today, once again, to the south of me today, in the east. No, you're to the west of me now. It is Princess, or rather Queen Rennie.
Good morning, Teresa. Good morning,
Good
Steve.
morning.
Hope you guys are doing well this morning. I've had my coffee, so I'm good.
Yeah, I've had plenty of coffee. I'm sitting here by the beach and kind of chilling, sitting here with a chocolate mint coffee.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, very nice, very nice. So, and all the way from the future, all the way from the future in the north, it is the one, the only, the Viking himself, Lord Steaglesby the Third.
Hello.
Hello, how's the future?
Well, currently it's we had snow again. So, yay. It's going to turn into ice soon. So, I'm hating the world a bit. Someone's to blame. I pay taxes in Norway. I shouldn't have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And well, it hasn't ended yet, the world.
Oh, good. So, no World War III. The Russians haven't come over and invaded your country yet.
No, not yet. It's late in the evening though.
Hmm. That's true. Well, it's very comforting to know that you'll be the first to tell us because you'll be the first to be screwed.
Yeah, I'll like do a live stream where I go, ugh,
Oh
and
my
then it
god.
gets cut off.
Oh gosh. And then we'll be like, well, the future has spoken.
Yeah, it's like there's this fiery cloud heading my way. I believe it is a nuke. Ta-ta.
Chernobyl Part 2. No.
Oh dear. And then you're going to miss Daddy's coronation.
What?
Oh, remember, you're the illegitimate son of Charles. So,
Oh
He had
yeah.
some bad Earl Grey and forgot.
yeah.
I'm so down to earth. I don't talk about that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's
Well,
that's
that's very
that's very
nice.
British of you. Yeah. Oh, well, always bringing us comfort is meteor advocate Timon Flip. World War III will start between USA and China about Taiwan soon.
Yeah,
Well,
it will, because that's how the Fallout games go. There's been a war between the U.S. and China.
well, there you go.
They had
Yeah,
robots too, but still, it
yeah.
counts. Fallout 4 is now a survival simulator.
Yeah. So everyone play Fallout 4. And as always, we have Jacob Ironside, who has been been reading with us from the very beginning. He says he can't wait to talk about these chapters. They're great. I agree. I had loads of fun with these chapters, and everyone's saying hello. Yeah. Well, we got Timon praying to St. Athanasius for us. So hopefully everything will hit around us. I don't We're so screwed. But you know who's not screwed? Or rather, who is very screwed? It's Bryn and Roan and Jer. Last time we left Jer, the poor little boy was all locked up in a prison. Or he wasn't in the prison yet, was he? Oh, whatever. He got.
It was in a cell.
Yeah, he was in a cell, and the everyone was dead, but I really liked these chapters. What do you think, Rennie, in general?
I'll find a map for you because I don't believe you have one.
Sir, is your name Rennie? No.
You know me so well.
I bet you will have one for the last Shannara stream.
Oh, Lordy.
Hello,
No, that's a
Matt
good
G.
idea. No, I quite enjoyed them, Teresa. When we get to those specific chapters, there were, we got to meet a couple of new people, which I really, always had the suspicion, and I'll tell you what it is about one of them, but it kind of came true, and I was really excited about that, and, it's very, very interesting character, and then, there was an exciting scene that it's like come on, is this ever going to happen? And then it happened. So it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. So we will get to it, but I just don't want to spoil everybody ahead of those chapters. So
Okay, well that's
so
great. Well, yeah,
exciting.
thank you. Yeah, hello Dempsey, Drunken Poet, and Matt G. Okay, now Matt G, I'm gonna be a bit of a diva. You didn't bring us bacon. What's wrong?
How dare you?
How dare you? Locked up in prison by lizard lips. Yes, Jacob.
Oh, yuck.
Uh, okay, yeah, that's one way of putting it. Gosh darn it. See, I am well rebuked. I don't know what's wrong with me. Um, here we go. Wait. Latest. Yeah, I don't want you to. Yeah, we're not going to do serial killers. That's going to be a live stream when I find the time. Things have been busy. Here is the map. As always, loads of fun.
I love this map,
We're
by the way.
Can I zoom in on it maybe? There we go. Make it bigger, a little bit bigger. So we're totally screwed on in chapter 29 and themselves Bryn and Roan, they're going out to meet this old man. And it turns out that he's like bet as crazy and messing around with them and let me see, what is it? And oh yeah, they ask where's Coughlin because Coughlin's the person that they're supposed to be looking for, and he's like, "Oh, Coughlin's dead and buried," and they're like, "Ah, oh, fudge!" But he's so weird and being so evasive that Bryn is very suspicious, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever." And then finally, they hear a girl saying, "Come on, Grandpa, knock it off," and it turns out, of course, he is Coughlin. And
Oh, you forgot the cat.
oh yeah,
Whisper.
yeah. Oh well, I didn't forget the cat, but yes, I should have talked about the cat. Yes, yeah, there was a big black face ear. Oh my gosh, there's blackface.
Wow.
Oh no.
Well, it was nice knowing you all. He says, "I'll show you who's out here." Yeah, I forgot that the cat came first. Whisper, whisper, and then a biggest cat he had ever seen in his life appeared out of nowhere. Dark gray in color with spreading black panels on its flank. And I'm going to skip the black face. Ears, oh wait, I didn't. Tail and wide, almost cumbersome looking black paws. The beast measured well over 10 feet, and its massive shaggy head rose even with his own. See, this is like a monster kitty cat. It's like my little kitty cat, but if she were 10 feet tall, which would be really quite frightening.
Oh,
It's like
probably 10 feet long.
Because they're on all fours.
Oh yeah, you're right because well, it's a big ass cat, okay? And it's as we know, it's a shape-shifting cat. That's part of the reason why yeah, the cat fades away and that's when the old man goes, right Coughlin's here right where I buried him. So this is a whole oh wait, just a second. I had this broadcast has been interrupted by shoes. My, my mom walks in with a whole bunch of shoes. Okay. Chameleon cat. Yes, it is. And then that's how this chapter ends. Again, and I thought this chapter was it's like, okay, that's not a lot that we have. Now I lost my place. Dagnabbit. This is what shoes will do to you. And it ends with him saying that Coughlin is dead. So we're going to go right into chapter 30 because I think that the action moves into chapter 30. And that's when the girl appears. And she appears to be a friend of the cat. Let's see. Gosh darn it. Oh, yeah. Oh, and then she looks at Bryn and goes, whisper, track. And the big cat suddenly came to his feet without a sound, patted over to Bryn, and tentatively sniffed at her clothing. And she realized that the girl was testing her to see how she would react. So Bryn decided to sing. And then the little kitty cat just became a little baby cat and lay docilely at her feet. And that's how the girl knew that she was magic. But the old man is going, devils, devils. And then they're like, no, I think that they like you. This is all nice. And then the girl says her name. I am Kimber Bow. And then she says that this is my grandfather. This is Coglin. And he is crazy, and he likes to play games. And that's what he's been doing. And Jacob Ironside says the old nut reminds me of that crazy guy on Treasure Island. And eventually, as they start talking, they start to share their story. And then the old man goes dratted, trespassers, and disappears again. And again, these are two very short chapters. I feel like they could be one chapter. I mean, Stig, help me out here. What's going on?
There's 2 small chapters. There should have been 1.
Oh.
I don't think that's what you meant.
Son of a biatch. Okay, well, Rennie, we're obviously getting an introduction to these new characters, and he's taking time to have us get to know him. And not only are they messing with Bryn, they're also messing with us.
Yeah, I think so. He tries to throw him off the trail because he knows that they want something from him. He's a grumpy old man that doesn't socialize with anyone aside from Kimber Bow, which is his adopted granddaughter, and Whisper, the disappearing kitty cat. But so he's just like, oh, whatever it takes to get him to go away. But they don't go away, and then Kimber outs him, and he's like, fine, I'm Coglin, leave me alone, go away, I hate you. And it's like, yeah, why is he like that? But at the same time, you're kind of intrigued because he's not an evil character. He's just very standoffish, and he just doesn't want to be bothered.
He reminded me a lot of me. It's like, go away, I hate you, leave me alone, trespassers. And he's even a cat lady. He's got it, but he's got a massive cat.
Well, it's funny, right?
You would laugh your ass off if you saw what they did with him on the stupid TV show.
Oh. Lord. Scared to ask.
Yeah, he has glasses. It looks like a college professor thing.
Oh,
like they even described him when we first see him. The first chapter where they can view him from afar, he's like walking on all 4s. So it doesn't seem very professor-like to me, but okay.
Yeah. And I got to admit, when he first appeared on all 4s, I'm like, what the am I reading?
Is this like a Gollum character? What is going on here? I mean, that's what went through my head,
Yeah. Okay. I'm checking. Oh my gosh. Oh, I should. Steve shared what he looks like on the TV show, and I actually think this is probably good because it shows us what he is by showing us what he is not. Let me find him. Coglin. Gosh darn it. So what was he even doing? Never mind what he was doing in the TV show. The whole TV show was out of order. Yeah, that is not him. No.
No. That's not what I would picture him like at all. I would picture him older and
less pudgy. This guy looks like he has a little meat on him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Coglin is he's a skinny bastard.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing, is this really skinny guy.
Yeah, the skinny old man. Yeah, I see your point, Jacob. I don't know. I mean, Rennie, sounds good to me. I don't know.
I'm gonna mute and see if I can fix some settings.
Okay, fair enough. All right, thank you. All right, so we have him, and then I'm going to take this down because this is heresy. And we learn the backstory of Kimber, that her parents were killed, and Coglin found her and took her in as his granddaughter, and that she was killed by gnome rangers. And then Britain is like, this is a dangerous place. She's like, dangerous? No, this is home. And it's this nice little home. And I love it when we get those cozy pictures. There's garden vegetables, fresh baked bread, goat's milk, good stuff. They don't have goats.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. And then, gosh, I want goat cheese. but I digress. So I'll get some of those later. And then it says, she says the line that really freaks me out. Do you know about spider gnomes? And I'm like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. Me no like spiders.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Brittany, now you sound a little too loud.
Okay, let me see if I can turn it down.
Yeah, just a tiny bit, just a tad bit. And so I know that I'm going to start hating these chapters. And I was actually starting to brace myself for something that would feel like that scene in The Hobbit when Bilbo, in the book, when Bilbo was there with all those spiders. And oh gosh, I do not like spiders. If there's one thing on this planet I do not. And then she also explains that Whisper is a moor cat. Most of them live in the swamps, and he had been in a fight with something that was all cut up, and so she took him home. And then she explains he doesn't just disappear; it just seems that way. The reason you can't see him sometimes is not because he isn't there, which he plainly is, but because he can change his body coloring to blend in with the forest. And that's what Jacob was saying, is that Whisper is a chameleon. And he thinks that she is his mother. So she's the mother of cats. And a very dangerous cat, wild, but they've been tamed him. And then with the wish song that Bryn has been able to do so. Jacob Ironside said, gnomes are bad enough, but spider gnomes, that's exactly what I was thinking. I hate spiders more than life itself. I like Whisper too. Yeah, I want to whisper.
Yeah, I see anything creepy crawly, I don't care. But yeah, spiders will make me run faster than probably anything else on the planet. Does it sound better, by the way?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then Kimber's like, you're our friend. We're friends. Won't you at least try to be friends with Bryn and Roan? And then the old man's like, what for? I don't need friends. Friends are nothing but trouble. Always expecting you to do something for them. Always wanting some favor of another. And I'm thinking, I need to quit relating to this man.
Yeah, same here.
Had enough friends in the old days, girl. You don't understand enough how about life is. That's your trouble. I'm an old man. I can be what I want. And I'm like, amen and hallelujah.
You know, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, Teresa. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's one of those things where it's like, why is this grumpy character so easy to relate to?
Is that why we're just getting old?
Maybe. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I've said that before. Yep, that sounds like me. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there was a thing last night, and it's like, oh, it's going to be real cool. We're going to, look at stars and stuff. And I said, are there going to be people there? It's like, well, yeah, it's a museum. And I'm like, I can't do people. It's not big crowds of people.
So, I mean, it's hard enough to adult, and then you have to people as well. That's just too much to ask sometimes.
Exactly. And you got to wait in line, and there were children and all sorts of stuff. But they do kind of share a little bit about the wish song. And he's like, do you think me mad? Get out of here. Get out of my house. The Mailmord where they're going is no place for you. Even I don't go there. But then she told them the full story about why they had to. And then Kimber's like, can we help them find their path east at least, grandfather? He's like, nah, the walkers will have you in a minute. And then Bryn's like, I have no choice. I have to do it. And he says, Whisper, where have you got to, you worthless? And he shrieked in surprise as a big cat's head appeared from out of the darkness at his shoulder. Coughlin swatted at the cat. And Whisper stared after him, then walked about the bench to lie next to Kimber. It's like, I think the grandfather can be swayed to show you the way east. Kimber mused thoughtfully. So the cat, I guess, is getting involved in the decision. It's like, I love it. Now, Steve, is Whisper, is it sentient? Like, it's not just a cat, right? It has like far bigger intelligence.
Kind of like a cat with dog intelligence. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But it does seem to like know that it wants them to help the people, though. Or could that have been because of the wish song that Bryn did?
Well, the wish song kind of made the cat like them, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah. Hello, Keck. Thank you for being here. Yeah. But either way, yay. Kind of reminded me of Gwendavere in the Dritz books. Well,
Yeah,
Gwendahar. Sorry.
that one is definitely more intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they're like, well, we need to find the sword because Roan is all obsessed. And then Kimber says, we could ask the Grim Pod. It's like, what is a Grim Pod? An avatar, a shade that lives in a pool of water north of Hearthstone where the high river ridges part. It's always lived there since before the destruction of the old world. It has the magic of the old world. And he's like, can it show me the sword of Leah? And she's like, well, yeah, but it doesn't always tell the truth. So it's like it tells lies, and you have to decide if it's the truth or if it is a lie. And finally, they decide because they need to get it that the sword of Leah. He goes, we must try. So she's like, well, I don't really know. And then she looks at the cat, how desperate she had become that she must turn to the aids of a woods girl, a half crazed old man, and a cat. That Al-Anon was gone. So she says, okay, will you speak to the Grim Pod for us? She said,
Grim Pond.
what did I say?
Pod.
Grimpod.
Grim Pod. Oh, I was thinking, Bryn, that it might be better if it was you who spoke to the Grim Pond. And it was then that Coglin really began to cackle. Okay, so we have the introduction of a Grim Pond. Now, the Grim Pond is different than the normal shade, like whatever Al-Anon's going to become or his Brima
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
way different. This
Yeah.
is this predates the druids and everything by eons almost, right?
Yeah. No, did it used to be a human like the other ones?
We don't
Or-
know.
We don't know.
Yeah, because they don't say. I was curious as to that as well.
Yeah.
It has no ties to the druids or anything like that.
Okay. So like a magic of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jacob says Grim Pond is a nasty one. Oh yeah, but he gets his buttocks handed to him, and I thought that was kind of cool. So the next one. Now Coglin he's finally, it seems like he's finally actually starting to enjoy this because he's like, it says Coglin was still cackling on the next morning. So I'm just imagining this old man just going and just every time he looks at Bryn just laughing and cackling at the whole idea that this is what's gonna happen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he gets his just desserts. Correct. So so off they go. I mean, and there's a lot of mist and darkness. I mean, we've gotten a lot of this, and finally they come across the Grim Pond. They pass through a maze of pine trees, and Kimber goes, you must go alone from here. Follow the trail until you reach the edge of the lake and whisper secrets in your ear, Coglin chortled. He can't wait. He really wants the Grim Pond to say some really messed up stuff to her, I can tell. Truth and lies, but which is which? She said, you're going to have to decide for yourself. So off she goes, and there's a sudden stirring in the mist. And the shade shows up, look upon the Grim Pond, and the face that the Grim Pond showed her was her own. Dun, dun, dun. Symbolism, Rennie.
Yeah. Basically, that's what I was thinking too, is like, all right, well, let's throw in your face that you're your own worst fear, first of all, and secondly, to just kind of taunt and torment her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe some, I don't know, Stig, like something like, she is the black magic and the black magic is her. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, and then they break off to give us Jer, who's sitting there going, my life sucks. I'm in prison. We're all screwed. But then he said, Bryn, I need to know what happens with Bryn. And I think they're trying to connect the two. And so with the crystal cup in his hand, he sees her, and his sister's face is before a lake. The sadness on her face had turned to shock, and he saw that the face was hers in it. So it's like he's experiencing it with her. But once the magic fades away, and this is where I wanted to punch what's his name in the face, Jer, is that alerts the Melkrat that he has friggin' magic, or the Melret, sorry. So I'm like, what the? And then,
Well, but wasn't the Melrat the one that kind of, sensed it and made him do it? He didn't really want to flaunt it, right?
yeah, but
He sensed the wish song earlier on.
Yeah.
but he didn't know about the crystal.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Misunderstood.
Oh no, not Brian. By the way, welcome, not Brian. They did this in the Prisoner TV show and The Last Jedi. Oh gosh, please.
We don't
no.
speak those words here, sir.
Yeah, how dare you? Hey, I've been trying to get rid of foul language in my little spot here. Little peoples. Yeah. Terry Brooks did it first. Yeah. Not Brian. No. My gosh. So now he's screwed. He goes, see, little friend, you have found a way to help me. And then we go back to Bryn. Would you know, child of the light, the darkness that is in the Ildak? And she nods. And there's all sorts of stuff that's going on. And he says, there's dark magic. We're all bound together in the single source. And she says, the dark magic made them all. And she said, that's your meaning, isn't it? Isn't it? Which one? So he's starting to mess with her. And Bryn's like, I'm not of their kind. And he said, I do not use the dark magic. And Grimpon goes, nor does any Velgar. The magic uses them. And that really struck me. Because I think the Grimpon's not lying here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. It's like, oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah, because it was almost like every time magic was being used by even by Al-Anon, I guess, but it would actually change them, and like the way that
it always has a price.
Yeah.
And you get the sense not for the better, the way that Will, he didn't want anything to do with it, the stones, and after his adventure or his not adventure, he did not have a pleasant experience at all with it, and felt like he lost himself. And of course, Amberly lost herself completely. So much, she became a freaking tree. So anyways, she keeps trying to mess with, the Grimpond keeps trying to mess with her, and even says, you're going to die. Shall I tell you how you are going to die? And she says, tell me what you will, but I will only listen to the truth. And he goes, within the pit of dark, within the breast of the magic you seek to destroy, there shall you find your death. It is foretold, Veil Girl, for you to carry its seeds within your body. And she's like, well, just tell me, how am I to reach this place? And he goes, find your own way, Bryn of the Veil people. And then she decides that's it. Rage exploded inside Bryn. Bryn began to sing, and the wish song came up, and she got the bastardo under her control. I loved that.
It was great.
It's so superior. And the Grimpon sought to evade the old sensation. He's like, give them back to me. And she's like, tell me what I would know. And then this is the key. With frightening suddenness, the Grimpon's words came forth. Greymark bridges the mail ford where it lies within the Ravenshorn. Greymark, the castle of the race. There lies the way that is sought, a maze of sewers that runs from its halls and chambers deep beneath the rock on which it stands, to empty into a basin far below. Enter through the sewers, and the eyes of the walkers will not see. The sword of Leah, Bryn pressed. Where can it be found? Tell me. And he goes, spider gnomes. The blade lies within their camp. And I'm like, oh no. And snatched from the waters of the charred rush, gathered in by nets and snares they kept fastened to its branches. And then she lets him out of the wish thing. He goes, "You have tricked from me the truth. Black you are. Black." What a racist. And, and so he's like, "Let this be my gift. Look into the mist. Here beside me where it forms. Look closely and I'll see you this." Bryn knew that she should flee, but somehow she could not. And then he gave her a vision of her brother in the cell. So he got a little bit of revenge at the end. So I was I was kind of disturbed by this whole scene because did she? I mean, Rennie, was she going to the dark side here, and that's why she was able to defeat him? Like that he recognized, or the Grim Pond recognized that she was evil.
Well, I don't know if that's it necessarily, but I think he recognizes and calls out the um the opportunity or the probability for magic to corrupt in the wrong hands, and you know, not knowing Bryn as well as he could. I mean, but then again, he may see into her soul. I don't know, but he knows what magic can do to people. So I think that was kind of a forewarning to her. And then if she's not careful, she said something about oh, it might be in a later chapter, but I think she actually enjoyed destroying that tree or killing that tree earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so for her to say something like that, it's like, okay, well, maybe that's just a little taste of, what magic can do to you if you're not self-aware enough to realize that you need to pull it back sometimes and not, be like, haha, I am the destroyer of all things or whatnot. So I think that's what he's trying to call out. That's just my personal opinion of it. And, he's seen the destruction that it's brought to the world. So I feel like that's a calling out, but I really think that he was shocked and a little insulted that he got beat at his own game, because I don't think he expected that at all.
No. And the fact that she was more powerful than he was.
Yeah. That was quite surprising as well. It's when Al-Anon said she would have the most powerful magic. She really does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Steve, what was your impression of all this?
Hell of a lot of foreshadowing, and messes with the reader's mind, doesn't it?
Yes, because I'm confused enough as it is. Thank you very much. So we're kind of in Bryn's place.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm assuming we'll learn more. Well, we do learn more because she's going to ponder kind of a little bit of what it said. But once again, he cuts away to Jer, where it says the monster is coming upon me. He's like, "Give me the magics, give them to me." And then Jer shrank back from him. ... So the action is continuing to escalate there, but then he switches back to the Grim Pond scene. And he said, after she saw that image, he said, "Did you enjoy that game, Bryn of the Vale people? Did you see what has happened to your precious brother who you thought was safe within the Vale?" She's like, "Lies. You only tell lies. Think what you wish. A game is only a game after all. Dark you are, Bryn of Shannara, Volmsterd of history spawn, dark as the magic of which you play. Go from me now. Take what you have learned of the Clown Prince's magic and the passage to your death. Find what you seek and become what you surely will. Get you gone from me." And then it took off. And Bryn's own face leered back at her, a twisted mask of evil. "See me as you are, Bryn of the Vale people, savior and destroyer, mirror of life and death. The magic uses all, dark child, even you." Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I mean, it's like he gets a parting shot. Kind of the things that we were saying before. Jacob Ironside says, "I didn't get that she was stronger than the Grim Pond, but that she trapped him before he realized it."
That's a good point, but I do feel like, especially with the line that he just said to her, that I think she is more powerful.
Yeah,
the mirror of life and death and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he wanted nothing to do with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I would be doubting myself too if I were Brent at this point. I'd be going, screw my life.
What's wrong with me? Why aren't I normal?
Yes. Oh gosh. So before we move on, Steve, do you have any further thoughts about this?
I have my mouth full of carrot.
Oh well,
Um,
fine.
well, you know, no, it's kind of awesome to see that there's still a little bit of leftovers from way past our time as well, right? Because this is our world,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Grim Pond is from way beyond that. So someone who went hiking back in the old days might have encountered the Grim Pond, right?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're hiking, minding your own business, and next thing, and then it would be on uh, the Discovery Channel or something.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Well, you know how it is. People that claim they've seen monsters or supernatural creatures. And I think that's fun what Terry Brooks does because we do have all these stories. He even tied it in with the fairies. So it's like there's an explanation for that. It's all that old magic. I don't know, Steve, would you want to talk to this Grim Pond and mess around with him like that?
Yeah.
Oh, you would enjoy it?
Yeah, but hello.
I mean, if I knew I had the capability to defeat him or whatever, I'd probably go and like mess with him and be like, just a total butthole. And
They'd be like, "Do you have sources inside Disney Lucasfilm?"
asking for a friend.
Yeah. Hey, I wouldn't actually mind that. That would be fun. As I always say, to a certain degree, well, I've had sources before, and real sources you don't talk about, or because you don't want to reveal it.
Exactly.
There's reasons people leak, but that's a different story. Not with Disney. I don't have. Well, all right. No, you know what? I'm going to shut up. All right. So, speaking of which, oh gosh. All right. I would not want to play with this guy at all. Not at all. I don't like messing with any of that. I prefer not to know. But of course, within the function of the story, she needs to know because she needs to find the passage. And Steeg is a rabbit. Oh, now, gosh darn it, Steeg, you're a lot of things.
Well, I'm not a rabbit.
Wabbit season.
I'm a squirrel knight.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but squirrels eat nuts.
Yeah.
I have a bowl of nuts too.
Sweet.
Hey, that's
Almonds and raisins and dried fruit as well in there.
dang, man, you're Mr. Organic there. That's very healthy.
Yeah.
I have, chocolate mint coffee. And
I win today. I win.
you are the winner. Yes, you win. You win for sure. Well, I'm going to go on to chapter 33 where we get back to Jer, and I loved what this happened in this chapter. It's the closest I've come so far that I started to I cheered. I was like, I'm sitting here in my room. It was so exciting because it says the Milret advances toward him. Give me the magics, his precious. Release him, elfling. And Jared's like, I can't run for him. And then all of a sudden, the gnome jailer appeared from the corridor beyond, head lower. Sin not for little peoples, Melret muttered darkly, and the scale hands motioned the gnome away. But the jailer paid no heed. Mute and unresponsive, he shuffled past the lizard creature. And Jared's like, what the hell's going on? He's all uncertain. And then he shrank in revulsion. Stands back, little peoples, the stis rasped. But the gnome jailer had already reached Jer. And he goes, need a little help, boy? It was Slanter. I loved it. 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 I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Slanter. He came to rescue. And then a few seconds later, not a sound from you. Garrett Jax warns. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he goes, not a twitch either. You'll be dead before you finish. And then Jer, being Captain Obvious, goes, Garrett, you're alive. It's like, how'd you find me? He goes, and Slanter goes, I'm told you I was the best tracker you'd ever met. I mean, Rennie, this was so awesome.
Well, it was. And if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong about this, when we last saw Slanter, he kind of got separated from the group and he was basically, standing in the wind doing that whole, brooding, pondering thing. Like, what should I do with my life? Should I try to help these people or should I go out on my own? So I thought that was really cool that he decided to join the prison break.
Yes.
So that was awesome.
And let it, and he fooled me. I don't know why he fooled me because it's so obvious now, but like just this random gnome is sneaking up and being all suspicious. But I just did not expect that.
Remember when we started the book and Slanter was introduced?
Yes.
And I told you guys this is probably going to be your favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've liked him since he was with Jer when he was like taken by the gnome party. I've liked him ever since.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I love Well, and then it kept going, and they're like, "Okay, we need to bring him with us," and they're like, and Slanter's like, "No," but Jarek goes, "Forker thinks we can use him," and he's like, "Forker's alive! Oh my gosh!" So we had Forker there, and then he asks again, being Captain Obvious, "Is Forker here too?" It's like, "Yes, you dumbass. That's what he just said." But I think that they're just helping us. So they do decide to bring the Melrat with them.
Yeah, and all of them are alive. Helt and Adane Elesadil is alive as well.
Yes, and I was going to say, and as they move along, the door swings right, and out they pop, Helt and Adane, and they're all smiling, and the music plays, and all that stuff. And the giant, it says, the giant borderman gripped his arm, says, "Couldn't leave you behind. Yours is the magic we need to heal the Silver River." And I'm like, they're all friends, and they're all together. Especially, Jer had become friends with the elf, and so he's like, he got his buddy back. Ooh, that's awesome, Jacob. And now that I know how to do pictures, just send them to me in a DM or something, and I will post it. I would love to see what you're doing. Jacob says he's doing some artwork as Slanter and some of the other characters. Yeah, I wish I could draw. Back now it. So in any case, they take him as a hostage, I guess, to try to use him. They have to fight a whole bunch of gnomes to get out of there, but Slanter wasn't there when they escaped, and he's like, "I'm gonna go back for them," says Jer. But then all of a sudden Slanter emerges, and he's like, "Thinking of going somewhere, boy?" And I'm like, "Oh." It's like they're friends. And Jarrett permitted himself a smile. Get moving. And they're like, it might be a long way to Greymark, but he felt certain that they were going to get there. So yay, we got some hope. So Stig, I was worried it was going to be like in the other book where they got a group of people and then they all died, but apparently not.
Oh, it's all happy joy.
Exactly. So in other words, you hated this chapter. Oh, but I think we needed hope at this point. We did, because it was getting a little gloomy.
Well, you got a bit of hope on the other side too, because now they know where the sword is.
True, but we also have like death waiting on the other end.
Well, the only one who's died is Al-Anon, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. but like what the Grim Pond was telling Bryn, basically that this was the pathway to her death. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. That's grim. All right, before we move on to 34, anything else you want to say, Rennie?
No, this was kind of one of the things I was talking about earlier about, it's like, is this ever going to happen? Because, with all the despair, it's like, okay, well, Jer's trapped in prison, everybody's separated. Slanter's trying to decide if he even wants to rejoin the group. Something positive needs to happen here, and people need to come and save Jer from this psycho snake thing, So
Yeah.
I was really excited when that happened, especially when it was like, okay, oh, here comes his prison guard, and it winds up being Slanter. That was just amazing. And no matter what Slanter says, he cares about Jer very dearly, and I think it's very cute. So yeah, I liked it.
Yay. You see, we're happy people, unlike Lord Stogglesby the squirrel.
Oh my gosh. I just realized that.
Yeah, well, you didn't catch that? That's what he said when he...
No!
That was the joke!
That is so cute. Yeah, I guess I wasn't looking hard enough.
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm not a rabbit. I'm a squirrel. And then he transformed. Where's Ancient One when you need him? I saw him yesterday. He was in Nina's chat. He's so cute.
One thing that squirrels always do is protect their nuts.
Darn right. Hey, well, I was about ready. Oh gosh, you can't win with these kind of conversations.
Adamantium codpiece.
Oh my gosh. All right. We're gonna move to chapter 34. Okay, we got Jacob there. All right, so as Bryn is pondering all this in the next chapter, she starts to think back about Shay and all that, and that the Grimpons meaning that there was mention of some tie between the wars of the races and the more recent war her father and the Westland elves had fought against the demons of the fairy world. There was that insidious suggestion that while the Warlock Lord had been destroyed by the magic of the Sword of Shannara, he was not really gone. And the Shade Sly insistence that Alanon himself was deceived. Thinking that he saw the truth, he had let his eyes be closed. What was it the Grim Pond had said? That Alanon saw only the Warlock Lord come again, that he only saw what was past. And she started getting very frustrated. And I think that as she's seeing it, that she herself is starting to talk herself into some confusion. But then, let's see, there's the key to what you seek, he had said. Oh yeah, another puzzle. So there's all sorts of puzzles, and I'm confused. And then she talks about, was it the magic they shared, the Wishsong and the druid power? So that maybe that is what had been going on, because with that weird ceremony after Alanon died. And then, I don't know. I'm confused. Am I wrong? Am I right? What's going on?
You said
No,
ceremony?
No,
Sorry?
she said Alanon.
Yeah, but you said when he
I-
died there was a ceremony or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did the blood thing on her forehead.
Yes. That's what stuck with me the most. And then he called his father, and his father came and got him and brought him into the lake.
Yeah, so she's wondering if that's part of what has been going on too. Which they have this strange Kens thing, but maybe he's just opening up the question because we're going to find out something about that later.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
in the next series.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
because I know Steek said it plays a big role, like in future books.
Okay, but I was just wondering if it was part of that maybe the Grim Pond was seeing, or maybe I don't know.
Well, you can see the future and the past.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that made me. And then as we move on, she goes back to her friends and says, Grimpon said that death would come to me in the mail for that I would not escape it. And Rowan's like, lies. And she's like, well, your death awaits you there as well, Rowan. We're all screwed. And then finally, Rowan, who I really like, he goes, if it is predetermined that we should die, Bryn, then let that not be on your conscience. Let it be on mine. Okay, I got a picture here. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me share this picture of Bryn and Whisper. I like Bryn and Whisper. I think they're cute.
Yeah.
Is it this one? No.
It's the
Is it?
bottom one.
Oh, I know. I suck. Okay, there we go. Yay. Look how cute he is.
He should be bigger in the picture. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's not 10 feet.
I picture something like maybe twice the size of a lion, kind of sort of,
Yeah.
but not with a mane.
Yeah. There's
Or like maybe a panther, sorry, since he's all black. Yeah.
I have a better picture of him.
Ooh.
It's from a they did a manga that follows this one. It's a one-off manga thing.
Huh. Okay. Let me see. Is that
And
what
then then
you
you
got there? Okay.
yeah. Then you get to see the Moor cat,
Ooh.
what they look like. This is probably more accurate.
Okay. Let's see. Do. Look, he's going, ah. I'd go, too.
Yeah, I would be a little afraid if I saw that. It's
Oh,
like,
right. Well, thank you, Matt. Yeah, he heard us. Thank you for bringing the bacon. And we brought the werewolf cat thing. Yeah. So as they're going along, going to find the walkers, the old man's like,
Well, they're not going to find the walkers, they're finding the spider gnomes.
oh, the spider gnomes, the spider gnomes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Rennie. Oh my gosh, you are so demanding.
I know.
Yeah.
You know me.
He's like saying that I can clear him out, and Kimber goes, "Do not be so quick to dismiss my grandfather's magic. He will be a great help to you, as will Whisper and I." So when she says magic, so this is so the Coglin actually has magic, or does he? Well, we'll see. And
Oh, and as soon as Bryn starts, crying,
mhm.
Coglin immediately decides to help.
He does a complete
not?
180 instead of being like, screw you guys. He's like, oh, I kind of
Yeah.
want to help you now. It was so funny.
Yeah, there was
I
like a
didn't
switch.
expect it. Yeah.
Oh, so well, not that women have ever been known to do that. It's like we cry and we. Oh gosh. Well, I'll tell you what. Sometimes when I cry, people are just like, "Oh my gosh, just stop crying." They'll do it. I didn't catch that. Hello, Stephen. Thank you for being here. And even though Bryn doesn't want them to come, she knows that it had been decided correctly. So we know that Whisper's going to do something, Coglin's going to do something, and all that good stuff. And that's the end of this chapter.
So now they have another fellowship, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
With an animal, with a big kitty cat.
4 people and a kitty.
Yay. Good thing it's an outdoor cat, though. Can you imagine the litter box?
Oh gosh, yeah, I know. That's the only
Imagine
thing.
imagine if they had like those things, with the baskets that you put dog shit in parks.
Oh.
Oh my god.
So if you had like a moor cat that you were walking in the park, right, you'd need like a big trash bag.
Yeah, like
It would
one of those.
probably tip over the whole thing because of the weight.
Jeez.
See, that's why you shouldn't have. Well, never mind. I mean, it's bad enough with a big dog. Oh my gosh, when I used to dog sit a German Shepherd. It was adorable. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he or she rather was a rescue. She had been crippled. She'd been hit by a car, and so it was just really sweet and just adorable. And yeah, but cleaning up after it was something else. Well, thank you, Stieg. I'm glad you left us with that image of my big hefty bag, and I guess you could use it as fertilizer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but off we go now into chapter 35, into the Olden Moor, and I'm just already like, no, thank you. They come to the camp of the Snyder. Oh my gosh, was that a Freudian slip? The Snyders.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have been hearing a lot of talk about it. Who sent me?
So they went to visit the Snyder Cut, did they? This is
Restore
a
the
shortcut. The
Snyderverse.
Snyder Cut.
The spider gnome, a jumble of makeshift heft and burrows. So it's this big old camp. Now I was surprised because I thought they'd be a little more primitive than that. But the spider gnomes, their strange and grotesque bodies covered with gray hair, were naked to the elements as they skittered about in the withered long grass on all fours, hunched and faceless. And they're sitting there chanting. They're calling upon the dark powers. And I'm like, no, thank you. So we got a bunch of spiders doing a big ritual. And then a whisper takes off. And because it senses the sword and the magic. And they're like, he's found the sword. And instantly Rowan kind of starts to lose his crap. Take me to where it can be found, Kimber. And Bryn fought against the bitterness that welled up suddenly within her. It's almost like I don't know. He was consumed by his need for it. He's just a little too obsessed. And then suddenly a shriek broke out within the darkness, and Coglin, this is where Coglin becomes a bit of an MVP. He produces a handful of black powder and throws it squarely into the flames with big explosion rocking everything. And and Whisper sprang forward through the firelight like a massive wraith up to the platform where the sword was, and it spills to the ground. The sword, Roan cries, and he grabs it and cries, Leah, Leah, kind of a bit like an idiot. And then explosions are going all around them. So his magic was really gunpowder.
Yep.
And suddenly they're in a melee, and Bryn is completely lost, and she flees into the wall of mist that rose before and disappeared into view. So not Ren. Gosh darn it, Rennie.
That's okay. People call me that too. It's not a big
Kylo
deal.
Rennie.
Kylo
Now
Ren.
that
Oh,
I will
no,
not tolerate. No.
No.
I am more than a person that stands around with their shirt off, forced talking to people.
Well, it would be interesting. Okay, I'm checking that out, Jacob. So, I mean, Rin, I was really pissed off too at himself, at Roan. I'm like, really? What the
Well,
hell?
he was like
Yeah,
an
but-
addict getting his fix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, but so in one hand, yeah, I could see where she's like, really, you're that obsessed with the sword. But I feel like for me, it comes from not only a sense of security, it's his great grandfather's sword. It's leveled up to like, level 1,000 or whatever, thanks to what Al-Anon did. And he swore to Al-Anon that he was going to protect Bryn. So, since she, it was his duty, I feel like, and he loves her. He was, to me, he's been, ever since he's gotten this sword, he's been very confident, but also very obsessed with the fact that he has to do anything and everything to protect her. And all of his decisions and all of his, all the things that he says to her, are very, well, I don't want you to get hurt, or, I should do this first. So, you don't have to sacrifice yourself. And so I think that's just become a bit of an obsession for him. It's not just the sword, it's what it can do and how it can protect the girl that he loves. That's what I see about it. So, I understand why she was like, really, over a sword, but like it's not just about the sword, it's about you, Bryn.
Well said. But I felt like he was a bit foolish, though.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I feel like it gave him a sense of security, and maybe he felt overly secure with it. But maybe he didn't feel like they were well enough protected without it, and it was like their only means for defense since Al-Anon was dead.
Yeah, they lost their magic.
Yeah.
Yes. No, thank you, spider gnomes.
I'm gonna do a hard pass on that.
Yeah, screw that. All right, so now we're in the midst of actually in the middle of an action scene. He ends the chapter in the middle of an action scene, so I'm going to move on because it kind of flows together. 36. So off the Bryn is all alone, going, "Oh my gosh, it's chaos, chaos." It was as if the world had fallen away. Even the ground over which Bryn ran was dim and shapeless thing. And she was thinking about what Al-Anon had warned her. Veil Girl, the Wishsong is power like nothing I've ever seen. The magic can give life, but can take life away. The magic uses all, dark child, even you. It was the Grimpon's warning, and not Al-Anon's, that mocked her now. And she thrust it from her mind. And she was starting to wonder, like, what kind of monster is she starting to become? Because she's starting to enjoy some of this power that she has been having, like even when she tried to get those dudes. And so for some reason in the mist, she's letting it get into her head. But a shape appears to her in the shape of Al-Anon. Was that real, or was that in her head?
It's the werebeasts.
The werebeast.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because then the
Creating
werebeast
like an
was there.
illusion.
Okay, so the werebeast can give illusion. Okay, because I saw that. Yeah, the werebeast comes and messes with her. Okay. Yeah. The word
They're
whispered from
bastards.
Tricksy and false.
Yeah. Yeah, and then even Rowan, she saw Rowan and she started running towards it, but that was also the werebeast. And so finally there was only one thing left that she could do, as she decided to go ahead and sing. And the wish song froze in her throat. It was her father who stood before her now. The werebeast slouched toward her, but back came an answering cry calling her name. Bryn. Confusion swept through her. Bryn. And Bryn, where are you? And Whisper and the werebeast surged back in. Oh, it was, I'm sorry, the people calling to them. So she calls back. And Coglin's coming, yelling wildly, struggling to keep pace with her friends. Whisper and the werebeast surged back into view, lunging and fainting. So they start fighting. And I think that was badass. And now you hear Leah, and Rowan was there, his slim form bolting through the massive shadows, sword lifted. Eerie green incandescent swirled about the ebony blade. The werebeast, cornered by Whisper, whirled instantly, sensing the danger of the sword's magic. Thrusting away from the moorcat, the monster leaped at Rowan, but the Prince of Leah was ready. His sword arced down, knifing through the mist into the werebeast, and green fire flared. So he killed it, and he goes, "I'm sorry," to Bryn. "I'm sorry. The magic. I couldn't seem to think of anything. I forgot everything, even you. It was the magic, Bryn," she says. "I know. I won't leave you like that again. I know that too." But she said nothing of her decision to leave him. Dun, dun, dun. And Jacob says he was being a knucklehead. Matt, he's giving us nuts. I'm needing some nuts. No dirty jokes. Okay, no dirty jokes.
It was clobbering time in the swamp.
Get out of my swamp. No, just kidding.
Swamp ass bitch.
Oh
Like, save the swamp ass bitch from the weird beast.
no. Well, now we have Bryn. She's decided that she's going to leave because some self sacrificing crap. But the magic, I don't know. Like
It's
a
making
second
her
ago,
power hungry.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I see, and I think that's what the Grim Pond was warning against. But at the same time, I honestly feel like she feels guilty for risking these people's lives, including Roan's, and that's why she's choosing to go off alone. Is she doesn't want them to sacrifice any more for her.
Roan is expendable. He's not even half the man Minion was.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
But still, like Cogleen doesn't even know her very well, and neither does Kimber Bow, but they're all going to try to guide and protect her. I would feel bad about that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Jacob, okay, Steve, could you read that? I don't want to read it.
Swamp ass bitch in the hoe flats.
Thank you.
That's great.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
All right. So, yeah, I guess. I mean, and I think with all these stories, there comes an inevitable point where the hero or the heroine has to do it by themselves. They can't have anyone else do it for them. So,
I know. I had to take out the trash the other day.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
Yeah. Barely made it.
Well, thank you, Steve, for your sacrifice. Here, let me show this here. Yeah, Jacob sent this picture of
Oh,
the kitty cat.
I like that.
Yeah, more like a panther. But then again, little black cats are like panther cats. That's what we call
Yeah.
them. And then here's another one. There we go. It's kind of badass.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yay.
good.
Dread Saber Phil. Hello, Dread Saber Phil. Swamp Ass used to be a gamer only problem.
Still is.
Oh no.
I guess
Oh,
if you sit down long enough and don't take a break,
there's nothing that baby powder can't cure.
No, but it's toxic now. Did you hear about all that?
Oh, great. Well, we're all screwed then.
Yeah, pretty much, because we probably have all had our little bum bums powdered when we were babies. So
Well, that explains a lot. That's what's we're all.
I didn't. I got Tabasco sauce.
Oh, get out. Ancient
Yeah,
Norwegian secret.
yeah. Well, hey, it certainly toughened you up. Dear me. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing that. All right, so that's kind of the end of this crowd for this week. Those are not my artworks. Oh yeah, but if it would have been awesome if they were, but that's okay. Yeah. Those are some illustrations, I guess. Yeah, I feel scared to do any search for any illustrations in case I accidentally run across some spoilers. So, in any case, I think we said really all we can really say about this part of the story, and we're going to move on to the gang, the other fellowship, and it is. They traveled for 3 days through the forest, through the Kanakee Mountain or whatever, and they're saying we can't cross through these mountains. It'll take us days, weeks. There must be some way we could get around all these bad guys, etc., etc. And then they're like, Helt has night vision. They're saying, but they look at the Melret. This is your home. What would you do? And then Stitz goes, find your own way, little people, seek another way. And then Garrett Jax went like scary. Gray ice so cold that Jer stepped back involuntarily. Helps you if you sets me free. He says, I'll take the little people through the caves of night. And I swear, when I heard caves of night, I was like, dun, dun, dun. It sounded like the cliffs of despair from, and it's like, what is it, gnome? Do you know this place? Death bins for the mountain gnomes since the time they fell under. Caves are passages into Greymark, take you beneath the mountains, past the walkers no one sees. And they're like wondering, is this a trick? But Slanter's like, doesn't matter. The caves are no place for the living. But the caves do offer a passage through, Garrett Jack says. A passage useless to us, says Slanter. But then, so they all, after arguing, they decide that they're going to follow the Melret's. Is like Stith? How do you say his name? Stiths, or I don't know.
I say Stithis.
Stithis. Yeah, it's like it catches in my
It's
tongue.
easier. It's a
Yeah.
little bit easier that way, but yeah, it's a tough
Stithis.
name to say.
And so he's like, so okay, so we'll all be fools together. And they're like, don't play games with us. And Stithis goes, no games with you, little friends. And I'm like, yeah, right. You know, and he's gonna Gollum them. And in the meanwhile, as they're going through, we pause for Jared to think of Bryn and his sister. Much has befallen her. He senses some of it frightening, but he had an odd sense that she was already lost to him. I don't know if she's going to be Amber Lead. I don't know. Or if it's just that he's sensing that because of their experiences. They're just not going to be able to come back from that. And then, as they're in the darkness, the fire wake came. It blew at them through the darkness like a gathering of brilliant dust. The members of the group watched and stared in astonishment. He goes, magics of my own, little friends. See how the fire wake obeys. So the Melrack is able to like catch it and turn it into light. So they're going along, yay, yay, yay. And meanwhile, all of a sudden, he grabs Jer, puts a knife to his throat. Stay back, little friend. So he was a betrayer. Foolish.
Oh, and you have that shit at the floor too.
Which one now?
There's stuff in the floor that eats people, right?
Oh, the procs.
Yeah, the Melrats used to herd gnomes in there in the dark, so they would walk around in the dark and get eaten.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did skip over them. Yeah, no place was safe to traverse. Yeah, that's scary. So, like, one misstep could be their last. Kind of like it's like they're crossing a minefield.
Yeah.
Yikes! And in the midst of all that, the confusion from one of these procs is what makes Stithis be able to get him. And Garrett Jax it says he's faster than anybody. And he says, magic belongs to us, said Stithis. And Jax goes, let the Veilman go. And lets you go instead, Blackwen, you little gnome, cut loose this tie that binds me to him. And then Jer sang, a quick, sharp cry that Slanter recognized at once. Dozens of gray, hairy spiders clustered on Thystis, clawing over the arm that held the knife. The Melret jerked his arm away with a howl, beating it away. And abruptly, the firewake scattered in a wide circle, taking back the light and throwing everything into shadow. Cat quick, Slanter threw himself on Stithis, burying his long knife in the arm that gripped Jer about the waist. That arm, too, jerked away, and Jer tumbled to the roughened stone, free again. And a long knife appeared in the weapon's master's hands as he started to cut through the rope that bound him to the Melrat, but he was yanked off balance. Slanter, Jer screamed. The gnome and Melrat stumbled through the maze of procs, clawing wildly at each other, which is kind of cool. And the firewake is continuing to go all over the place. Gnome, said Forker in warning, but Garrett Jax was quicker. He leaped like a shadow from the gloom, and the long knife severed the rope about his waist with a single cut. And then he reached Slanter, Garrett Jax did, and saved him. Yay! But the mill rat tumbled backward, thrown off balance, and goes into the darkness. And there is a terrible crunching, and the whole of the cavern was filled with the dreadful sound.
He got
So
eaten.
yeah. So at first, when he was gonna fall out, I'm like, "Oh man, he's gonna pull a golem," but then he actually really died.
Well, it wasn't undeserved. But yeah,
No, he had it coming.
because they knew he was, well, Slanter was smart. He basically theorized that he was gonna set them up,
Mhm.
and he set them up. So
Yeah.
it's like, see, I told you, can't trust this dude.
Mhm.
So
On the other hand, he got them this far. So if he hadn't done it, they would have been stuck for days and weeks.
yeah, which is true.
But so it's convenient, but now it's very inconvenient because now they're completely in the dark, and they say even if we escape the procs, we will wander these caves forever. And night vision didn't work. Nothing could work. They couldn't adjust, and I got kind of creeped out. The idea of being like buried alive completely in the dark.
Yeah,
You
can't
hear
see or hear. Well, you might be able to hear where you're going, but you can't see or tell what's what and what's where.
yeah, and you hear those stories about people going spelunking and then getting lost, and just the whole idea. It's just, and they say that you'll eventually go mad before you die. But luckily, we have magic. Jer thought of the vision crystal, and he used it. They got to see Bryn's face appearing before them, dark and worn, rising up before them, and she in a way guides them through the passage, like through Skype.
Yeah.
So yay, they're gonna be okay, and it's Bryn. So they're continuing to connect them, and then that's how this ends. He's giving himself over to Wishsong's magic, and he passes on through the darkness. So they're gonna make it.
Yay.
Yeah,
See,
the
they didn't
crowd-
need Stithis.
Stupid stiffness. He can screw off. So that's that. I mean, I always feel kind of a little bit exhausted as we go through this because there's so much material and so much going on. It's just been a wild ride. Oh yeah, Jacob Ironside says this quote: "Sounds like you've outlasted your usefulness, Garrett Jax." Yeah.
That's a great quote, man.
It is a great quote. I love Garrett Jax. Oh dear me. So I'm going to put the floor first over to Stieg. Anything you want to say of this chapter, these chapters, everything from here until now?
No, all the chapters have been awesome, and the characters have also been transported closer to the end because they need to get to the Mailmord, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming in from two directions, and Jer and the others are almost underneath the Mordwraith castle, which leads up to the Mailmord, right?
Yeah.
So they're right at the end, and Bren is coming in from the other side.
Yay. So
Yeah,
here,
because
let me
Jared
bring
needs to sing to Bryn or something like that, right? Sorry, Teresa.
No, go ahead. I'm just saying. I was just saying. I'm going to bring up the map again so we can look at that.
Well,
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, Bren is going to fail, and Jer is the only one who can help her.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
I
would,
thought
which would piss off the feminists.
didn't the King of the Silver River say something like if he doesn't use, because he gets to use a song and it be real for one time only, and he gets to use that, but he has to use it basically to save Bryn's life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gosh, talk about memories. All right, so we have here, there's the Grim Pond, and here's a gray mark.
Yeah, because Bryn is coming in from the northwest through
Hmm.
the swamp area, Oldenmoor, and Jer is right beneath Greymark. He's under it.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a Hearthstone. Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, they're gonna meet. Yay! Everyone's the chess pieces are being put into place.
Yay.
Um, and I don't know what's gonna happen to Rowan. I mean, it would suck if Rowan does die, I guess, but seems like one of them never makes it.
Yeah, Brooks. We see how you do.
Oh, gee. You know what just occurred to me? Because something Steve said earlier in the stream about I told you you'd like Slanter.
No.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
I keep getting
So-
that feeling, but yeah. I think, yeah, I remember thinking that at the beginning. I'm like, oh, he's going to wind up sacrificing himself for Jer.
Mm.
You'll have to. Well, we're doing the last track of the book next time, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're gonna finish the book. We're gonna, even though it's a little bit longer, actually not much, because it's gonna be about 100 pages. So yeah, we're gonna finish it. So next time we all meet, it will be done.
Bittersweet.
Oh, it's gonna be.
And that'll be the end of the trilogy as well.
I know
Yeah.
we'll have done another trilogy. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stupid thing is, given the first book is similar to the Lord of the Rings, people dismiss everything else.
Mm.
You know, but this is a good trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, so far anyways, at this moment in time, this is my favorite of the three.
Interesting. I'm not sure. I think I have to finish it before, but I definitely like the characters. Well, I like
They're-
Jer. I like Jer, and I
Yeah.
like Splinter and Garrett.
I liked the journey better in the first book
Yeah.
because it was a longer journey and stuff happened along the way. And yeah, I agree, Jacob. These books are rereadable, and if you want to know what happens next or before this trilogy, there are books to read.
Hmm. Yeah, and we're planning. We may not discuss them, but we will definitely be reading them. I mean, I'll definitely be reading the prequel stuff on my own.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and Jacob, what do you think so far? Go ahead and let us know in the chat.
For everyone who's planning on buying the books, get them at thrift store or on eBay with the original covers.
Mm-hmm.
They're like $3 to $5 a piece. So
Yeah, don't get the new ones, especially not the tie-in books, because that's crap.
it's
Oh, yeah.
actually dirt cheap if you think about how many minutes of entertainment you get per book.
Yes. What do they average? Maybe about $2, $3 maybe.
Yeah, 3
and
to 5, I think.
That's not bad though.
yeah, and when you consider in stateside, the shipping is usually free.
You know,
Well, there we go. Okay, what is right? Well, I just I guess there's not much to say except just going to the end and finding out what's going to happen to all these people. I think this is the first one so far that's not had a big ass battle, like epic battles. There haven't been anything like that. Unless I'm missing something. Unless there's going to be a
No,
big
you're
battle in the last chapter.
there's not been any battle.
Yeah, I know there hasn't been so far, but I'm just wondering, if maybe at the very end. But
It could
Yeah,
be
you're
there's one
right.
happening off screen though, because they did say that Ander was going to arrive with an army to Coalhaven.
hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, gosh. If Anders shows up, that'll be so awesome. We love him. Oh dear. Stieg. Oh, could you share the original covers? Well, on
You'll find them easily. Just basically, it's the covers with actual art on them instead of
yeah,
a castle in the distance with
and my thumbnails are based on them, though they don't show the whole thing, obviously, because I can't.
What would have been fun though if there was like a novel about Coglin and Slanter going on an adventure.
Oh my gosh. That
Oh,
might be like an odd couple kind of thing, you know? Oh no.
I bet you
oh,
they would get along
I mean, maybe.
because they have similar worldviews.
mhm. Oh gosh. Well, yeah. I mean, they're just good characters, and they're just fun to live with. I think not quite for me in the same way that the like Dragonlance or the Dritz. I mean, I got to admit that they're a little more fun, but it's a bit of a different style.
This is more story driven. The others are character driven.
Yeah, and they're more like Dungeons and Dragons. Well, sort of because they're supposed to be. They're all tie-ins for all of those as well. So no, I've just been really enjoying these journeys, and I really want to find out what's going to happen. I really do.
Yeah.
I I would. Oh yeah, and tip to everyone watching: don't spoil anything to anyone until after the next episode, where we.
Oh yes, yeah. Um, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good people. And I was gonna say in the chat, and maybe Jacob, I'll let you know when I'm done if you want to say something in a DM, so that we just won't accidentally spoil each other. Of course, Steve, you've done a really good job in not spoiling it either. Okay, I'm just dealing with some business here. I think on this end. Well, gee whiz, I think I'm gonna bring this to a close because I know that Rennie's got to go, and I don't have to go. But I want to go walk on the beach. It's a nice day. It's 81 degrees.
Oh,
Oh,
that's not bad.
yeah, nice and sunny, and the ice cream truck is out.
Oh, girl.
I know.
On the beach, you'd be dumb not to.
Yeah, yeah, and it's cute because all the kids running over to it. It's fun. It's like a little bit of your childhood. No spoilers. Yes, no spoilers. So,
Oh,
Rennie,
and
why don't
try and read them as fast as you can because you probably want to read it again. And there's a cool reveal in there too.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's a good thing I didn't bring my other book. Dun dun dun. Yeah. Jacob says, "Yeah, I think I might have spoiled something with a DM. Sorry. Oh no, it was a minor spoiler. It was a very minor spoiler, very minor. No, but we do that to ourselves, Jacob. So no, I'm not calling anyone out here because we have a deal. Like if there's a spoiler, that we say, has anyone finished reading it? Yeah, so we don't accidentally do it. But no, it wasn't a spoiler. It was just like nothing. So Rennie, tell us where we can find you.
Well, next week and next Saturday here, same time, bat time, same bat channel.
Mm-hmm.
And also on Mr. Brown Alliance around 4:30 p.m. next Saturday, the 4th as well. We'll be talking about Godfather 2. And I believe Teresa is planning on joining us as well.
Hell to the yes. I love me some Godfather. Absolutely. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
There's a video game that has a pun title for that one.
What's that?
What is it?
It's the second James Pond game. It's James Pond, the Codfather.
Oh, Lord.
No.
Because I think it's a frog. platform
Ugh.
game.
With a name like James Pond, it would have to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I think I've told you guys I watch the trilogy every year, and now that I have Coda, I bought it last year. That will be
Mhm.
my Godfather 3 going forward since last year. So
Yeah, Godfather, the Coda was
Well,
so much better.
Teresa just bought the thing.
Oh yes. I did I tell you that? It was. I think I put it in a tweet, but you'd have to look. Yeah, the whole trilogy I found at a half price store, so I got it
oh, nice.
on Blu-ray. Yeah. So yay me.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So you'll keep your eyeballs on that for Rennie. Steve, what's going on with you?
Your channel next Saturday.
Mhm.
Are we taking a break after next Saturday? Was that the thing?
I believe we talked about that to take. Usually we do between books, but we'll need to have time to get Magician Apprentice and get to reading it. So after next week, we'll probably take a week or two off.
Yeah,
Okay.
this chick will need a break for sure. I'll be honest with you guys. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Then you guys can catch up on the short stories for Shannara if you want.
we could.
Well, I may be taking a couple of weekend excursions here and
Yeah.
there.
Are you going outside?
I know, right? So yeah, the
Are
hubby and
you
I talked about
touching
doing.
grass?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, instead of harvesting bullets, be like actually going out and doing other stuff. But we just I need it because of all the stuff going on at home and at work. It just
You need
nice
a
to
little
get a little
vacation.
R&R.
Yay. Well, good for you. Um,
But for those of you that don't know, when I tried looking at something for the weekend of the 9th and the 10th of March, that just happens to be South by Southwest in Austin. So avoid Austin at all costs starting the 10th of March.
what? Because you're going to be there?
No, South by Southwest is a huge thing, man. It's insane. It's kind of like Sundance Festival, but bigger.
Oh,
And it's just nuts. Because I was like, why is it going to charge me $2,000 if I stay here over the weekend? And I'm like, oh, crap. It's that time of year. So,
Oh, yeah, and
I
then
think I
there's-
should manage to avoid that one.
yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
with that, and then the rodeo, and oh, gee.
Yeah, it's going to be a little cray-cray in that area for a bit.
Well, I try to avoid actually everything, so it should be okay for me.
You'll be fine then.
Yeah, what a life. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and clear out of this party. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Keck. Thank you, Matt. You brought the bacon. We had a Dread Saber Phil, Matt. Oh, wait, I already said Matt G, Stephen Ransom. Let's see who else popped in. I hope I remember. Oh, the drunken poet. He stopped by and said hi, and everyone that will be watching this in the future and in the past and in another dimension. Thank you for being here and thank you for reading along with us. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, beware the Ides of March. Yes, please do. Great stream later, y'all. Thank you. Well, have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain to guard your nuts.